There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar getting...
Man, I was really digging that part. I thought it was pretty cool. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Hits Gone Heavy. Today we'll be going into my hard rock cover of the song Tipsy. Today's episode is sponsored by Cigar City. Nah, I just really wanted a beer. Let's get into it. All right, so this episode's going to be a little different than the usual one. I'll usually play the song and develop it live. I've already released this cover, so this time around I'm just going to go in the cover and talk through the different parts that I made. So let's get the song started. So right off the bat here, I hit it with a couple of atmospheric sounds to really set the tone. I wanted to set kind of a dark, spooky tone, and we'll get into the guitar tone in a second. Here's the first atmospheric layer. And then backing that, I have a little vocal as well. And I just kind of looped those. But I thought they sounded really nice, dark, little spooky. So that pretty much runs the entire duration of the song. I've just got those looping in the background. Even on the heavy parts, I thought they sounded great. And now for the guitar part. All right, so on those guitars, I've got this vintage vibe amp suite that I downloaded, and I'm really freaking digging it. It was like $30. You can give a Google, or I'll link it in the description, but man, freaking fantastic. It's only got like 10 presets, but I really like this R&B sparkle, this Midwest emo breakup. Sounds great too. Also, as I'll often do, I wrote my own tuning for this song, and we can go through the notes. It's going to be D-A-D. Then I've got an F sharp, G sharp, and an A. The A on the E string was important to me. The song is in the key of A, and then I really wanted the minor second accessible on the string right above it. So that's why I've got the A and the G sharp right next to each other. In this type of song and in general, I really like that minor second to be accessible just one string apart because it adds an opportunity to add a lot of parts with dissonance. It's a little fancy hammer-on pull-off there that I added, but nothing special. So obviously I've got my two parts here. I've got that strum on the left and I've got it on the right just to add a little bit of width and thickness. Same parts.
My baby want a Birkin. She's been telling me all night long. Gasoline and groceries. The list goes on and on. It's 9 to 5.
So that part right there. Throwing a little lo-fi drum, just grabbed it right off a splice. Sounds like this. I do it on a lot of my songs. I really like throwing that lo-fi vibe in there before the big heavy drum hits.
9 to 5 ain't working. Why the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them. When I'm going.
All right, so now we got the real kick, the real big bad boy kick in here. I'm using a couple of different kits. So I would say as my main kit, I'm using the P5 Matt Halpern signature pack. Just, out of the box here on full turbo. I think it sounds great. And then as kind of a supplementary kit, I'm using the Fairview kit as well. I think stacking those two kicks together sounds really good. We'll get there in a second.
1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another round, we need plenty more. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my good Lord.
All right, so let's stop it there. Got a nice little build going. Start layering some cymbals in there.
2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor.
Just quarter notes. And then also, obviously, we have some risers in there to give, starting to build a little bit of tension. So I got this big long riser that starts and just, runs 2 full measures.
2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my good Lord.
Then also, it's worth mentioning this bass here too. So I automated the volume and just really kind of ramped it up. So I've got a MIDI bass in here. I think it's Nolly bass, yeah. Yeah, it's running up about 10 dB, starts on negative 19 dB and runs all the way up to negative 8. I think that volume automation is such a good hack during builds and other parts of songs. You don't need to build out a whole bunch of tracks. You can do it all in one track and just kind of fine tune the automation. So I've got the bass running up here with the riser.
Two-stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good Lord.
So my thought here was obviously you're expecting like, massive chorus, like big kick, big drums. And I thought, okay, well, let's drop it. Let's not do anything too massive. Let's kind of save that, like, just a little teaser. So we come into this isolated guitar part. I was really happy with this guitar part that I wrote. I thought it was pretty cool. So I chose an amp that kind of gave like almost a lo-fi effect, hard pan left, hard pan right here with the vocals, guitar, and isolation, because I thought the guitar part was kind of badass. So this is what it sounds like.
Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jet Taylor's got a history.
Pretty simple drop D guitar part. I'll play it real quick. That's it. Again, just starting on the F sharp minor here. Coming up to that minor third. Down to the major second. Just starting on that F sharp minor and then going down to E and D.
Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jet Taylor's got a history. There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody in the bar getting...
Man, I was really digging that part. I thought it was pretty cool.
Everybody in the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
So obviously in the drop, the drums are a big differentiator there. They're huge. Again, I've got the P5 kit. They just smack the snare in that kit. It just sounds massive. And then my producer mentor gave me this really, really nice preset on Fairview drums that I use for the kick. I think it just sounds clean. I'll show you what the drums sound like together. So it's important from my perspective on that snare to just really ramp up the overhead sound, because you want a nice long tail, especially in a metal song. You don't want those snares hitting and dying out. You kind of want them hitting and ringing, because that's what really makes them sound huge. So I definitely, I juiced up the overheads a lot. But really my favorite part of the drop, and I think what makes this sound the most juicy, is the bass. So again, I've got nollie bass on here. So on the nollie bass, I have a limiter, and that's just to, really crunch the gain, bring it to the forefront, make sure it's really in your face and that it doesn't die off as I change notes. So in terms of note selection, I really just mirrored the kick. So just like the kick, we've got 16th notes on the bass. So in the context of the song, this is what it sounds like.
Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. I've been boozy since
Back into that same part. So we can spend a minute on the vocals, and I'll show you the vocal chain that I have running through here. I've got a compressor running into an EQ, into some saturation down here, and I've got a de-esser on the end of the chain too. This Waves de-esser is great. This male S preset aligns perfectly with where my plosives hit on the frequency spectrum, so it works well for me. And then all of these vocal layers are running into this bus. So on this bus, we've got an EQ, just tampering down a mid-range frequency and then boosting the highs. It's running into some saturation, some reverb as well. So ordinarily I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't add reverb to the vocal bus. I would add it to the FX channel. But I thought that this song really needed some heavier reverb to fill some space. So then we've got our FX channel. On the FX channel, pretty straightforward. We've got some analog delay and some reverb there. So I have a few layers here in the chorus. Obviously, my main vocal down the center, and then one pan hard left and pan right, just giving it a little bit more support and thickening it up a little bit.
Everybody in the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar
And then if there's a lot of space between the vocal lines and the chorus, which there definitely is in this one, I'll pretty much always throw a track on there that has 100% analog delay just to get a little bit of reverberation back and fill that space with the vocals. So this is this line right here. Kind of hear it in the background there. Boggin, boggin. Pretty simple. Just 100% analog delay. Bouncing back at you a little bit.
Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. I've been boozy since I left. I ain't changing for a check. Tell my mom I ain't forget.
So we're right back into that main verse riff.
I've been boozy since I left. I ain't changing for a check. Tell my mom I ain't forget. Oh Lord, I woke up drunk at 10 a.m.
And I kind of varied the sound between the clean and the distorted sound in this verse to start kind of alluding to something heavier coming.
Shit again, tell your girl to bring a friend. Hold on, one.
All right, so now the heavier section. This is probably the most metalcore this song got. Metalcore, whatever. Some little bendy boys in here, kind of fun.
Hold on, one. Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another round, we need plenty more.
So let's just check out the guitars. So again, we're just on that F sharp minor. We go up to the minor second here and just do a little bendy for a nice little chromatic. And I think I pitch shifted those too. I think I brought these down an octave. Yeah, I did. I brought those down an octave. I think that really, really adds. I think pitch shifting for parts like this with the bends is just huge. Do it all the time. Okay. So right there, but I added a lot of chromaticism too, and I think that's what gives it that kind of that metal flair. So in here, you know, nice little bit of chromaticism when you think about it's going F sharp to E to D, and then you got a nice little E flat here. So there's that part. Again, I pitched these down an octave. Just, I don't know, makes it sound a little bit more nasty in my opinion. And then this last bend is just, I mean, I'll just pat myself on the back. It's absolutely fucking filthy. So that's just bending on one right there. And then really all of that just translated to bass. So, you know, obviously I had to get in here and I had to adjust the pitch when I'm doing all those bendy boys on guitar. It has to be the same on the bass, but bass sounds really similar. I probably could have tightened this note up here a little bit and made the bend a little better, but in the context of the song, it's not very present. Yeah, that note there at the end on the bass sounds great too. Let's listen to that whole part together.
Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another round, we need plenty more. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need no dance floor. Oh my, good Lord. Someone pour me up.
I think it's pretty dirty. The only thing I regret there is I should have added a couple of screams. I think it could have gone really hard in that part, especially with the metal guitar parts. I should have added some screams. We can try to do that real quick.
To the 3 to the 4. Bring another round, we need plenty more.
Yeah, probably better that I left those out of there. I'm still working on my screams. So next part here, going into a really similar chorus.
Good Lord. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near 5th Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody.
All right, so to add some variety starting here, I added in a vital synth, which we can drill in on a little bit. I use this growl bass sidechain, you know, really simple, stock, readily available, but sounded good. You can listen to this in isolation. So kind of similar to the guitar, you know, again, just coming up here to that minor third. In the context of the mix. So it's not hugely standout right there. The guitar and the bass are still dominating the mix, and obviously the drums. But, you know, it adds a little bit of flair, a little bit of texture into that second chorus, just starting to introduce some variety so we don't get stale. So now we're back into what I guess I'm going to call the verse. The 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 3 to the. So it was important for me to have some contrast in this song. The entire thing can't be huge. There have to be some parts that, you know, have clean guitars and some softer sounds, because that's what really amplify the choruses and make them sound even bigger. My production mentor always reminds me that you have to have contrast in this genre. So there is no black without white. There is no day without night. There is no hot without cold. So anyway, we back it off here with some clean strums.
1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. When it's last call and they kick us out the door. It's getting kinda late, but the ladies want some more. Oh my good Lord.
Same chords there.
Oh my good Lord. Someone pour me up a double shot.
And then we just get a little strummy with it, you know? Just fucking let it all hang out.
Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack.
So as I did in most choruses here, just really kind of hit hard on the impacts and the risers. And I also did this little standalone bass part here as part of the build.
Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
Just to highlight the instrumentation, highlight the bass part there. And then I use these cashmere impacts and risers throughout the song. So the cashmere impact down here is probably dominating that sound. That's the one that has more of the bass tone to it. And then the Zen impact is more high end. But together they sound pretty good. I think it's really nice to layer those sounds too.
Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. At the bottom of the bottle, gonna miss me. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
Dude, let's get trashed. And obviously a song about drinking. Just couldn't resist throwing something super dumb in at the end like that. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's my cover. I had a shit ton of fun making it. Do I know everything about music production? No, absolutely not. There are a lot of people who know a lot more than me. So I truly do welcome feedback. Let me know what you thought of the cover, what you think I did well, what you think I could do better. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.